So right now, I'd have to say my favorite track is probably Autopilot. That song really includes everything that I love in a song. It's got a gigantic chorus, it's got heavy riffs, it's got great vocals, it's got great lyrics overall. You know, I think this is a track that it's my favorite right now for those reasons. And I really look forward to playing live with this one. I think a lot of people are going to connect with this song on many different levels. And it's definitely one that I'm really excited to release here. My favorite part of the writing process was, well, I can tell you what I'm looking forward to most as far as looking back on this album and the writing process was I can listen to any song on the album and I know exactly where we were, you know, what the mindset, what the atmosphere was like when we were writing this song. I think that's really, really special to be able to do that listening to all the songs that we put out here. But as far as my favorite part of the actual process, probably just everybody's creativity being thrown into one big album, right? Everybody had a different input into different songs, and you know, some things that I missed, you know, Topher, Drew, Rich, and Cello, they did a great job in being able to, you know, share with me, hey, you should probably do this, or what if we did that? Everybody was just really supportive, and it was a great, it was just a great environment, and it was the first time that every single member of the band actually wrote a full-length album. You know, we've done EPs, we put out singles with other bands, and this was actually the first time that everybody worked together to put out a full-length album, and I think that's really, really special. The song I'm looking forward to playing the most live would probably be Rolling the Dice. Okay, this is probably the most in-your-face, aggressive, heavy song we have on this album, and it's gonna be crazy hard to play, but I just think the energy, the pit, you know, the rawness of the song, I think is just gonna hit people hard. I think the atmosphere and the energy the song is gonna bring is going to be, you know, insane. And if there's one song that I want to, you know, want people to hear and get across the theme of what we're going for and what this band is about, Rolling the Dice is probably up there on my list. It's a song that I just can't wait to play live. I think that one is going to be incredibly fun to play. My least favorite part of the writing process was probably, you know, dealing with what we had to deal with in 2020. You know, there was a lot of restrictions and there was a lot of, obstacles we had to overcome. Getting together, being able to write and be creative, you know, all in the same room. There was a lot of obstacles that we had to overcome. And, you know, luckily in, you know, the time that we're in currently, we're able to, you know, work online, right? I can send a track over to, you know, Topher or Drew, or, you know, they could send me guitar tracks, and, you know, my drummer Topher, he could send, you know, a drum track over to me. I could work on a riff, you know, I could send it to Drew, get his feedback, he can upload something, and then we can kind of work together to build a song. But my least favorite part was, you know, we did that a lot where we weren't able to be all in one room at one time, just because the majority of the writing process actually took place, you know, from really between March and I want to say, you know, September, early September. So those are probably the least favorite things about the album writing process, other than, holy moly, this is a lot of work. You know what I mean? It's and writing a full-length album, I didn't think was going to be as difficult as it was. Just making sure everybody's happy with the music, making sure that everything sounds good, getting everybody together on schedules. It's a lot more work than I think people think, and I have a much higher respect for artists that put out a quality album, because, man, it's not easy. So the state of the world obviously affected people in many different ways. For us as musicians and, you know, a band that's trying to go play shows pretty much anywhere we can, obviously it was a huge obstacle that, you know, not only us, but a lot of other bands that are starting to try and go play shows and show other people their music, you know, it was really difficult to all of a sudden we had to cancel a lot of the shows that we had booked, and it just felt like we were just starting to get rolling and we were putting up a bunch of shows, getting ready to go play. You know, so obviously mentally it was a big struggle for everybody in the band, because we weren't rehearsing, we weren't playing shows, and that's just not what we were planning on doing in 2020. But we were planning on coming out with an EP somewhere around April, May of 2020, and we just got together and we said, hey, let's put out a full-length album. Let's put all this time that we have in right now, you know, with no distractions as far as not playing shows, we're not really, traveling, doing a whole lot. So let's get together, as best we can, send each other riffs and send each other drum tracks and lyrics, and let's put together a full-length album. And that's exactly what we did. So it's been a rather difficult year, especially for, musicians and people trying to go out and play live shows. It's just non-existent right now. But for us, we tried to make the most out of it, and we put out the full-length album here. My favorite band currently, without a doubt, it's got to be Hatebreed. All right, everybody in the band always makes fun of me for how much I rep their merch and how passionate I am about Hatebreed, but I'm a big Jamie Josta fan. I love all the lyrics in Hatebreed songs. I love all the breakdowns in those songs. They do a great job over there of just putting together quality music. So it's actually super cool for me because Hatebreed comes out with their new album in November. I'm not exactly sure what date, but in November 2020, they come out with their album. We're coming out with our album in 2020 of November. I'm pretty stoked, to say the least. So Hatebreed right now, #1, many different influences, but for sure Hatebreed right now.